My name is Linda, and I'm standing in my daughter's living room on Christmas Day, watching her face turn red with anger. The decorations are beautiful. The tree is perfect. The presents are wrapped with care. But none of that matters anymore because my daughter just looked me dead in the eyes and said something I never thought I'd hear. Leave and never come back. I need to back up, because this story doesn't start the way you might think it does. My name is Linda, and I'm 59 years old. I've been a mother for 32 years. I've always prided myself on being involved. Present. The kind of mother who showed up, maybe too much, but I never saw it that way. When my daughter Sarah was growing up, I was there for everything. Her dance recitals, her soccer games, her school projects. I packed her lunch every single day until she went to college. I knew her schedule better than she did. I knew her friends' parents. I knew what she was reading, what music she liked, what she was worried about. I thought that's what good mothers did. But somewhere between Sarah being 15 and being 30, something shifted. She started pulling away. At first, I didn't notice. Then I did, and I told myself it was just a phase. Teenagers need space. Young adults need independence. I understood that intellectually, but emotionally, I couldn't let go. When she got engaged to David, I was thrilled. But I also had opinions about the wedding. The venue she chose wasn't quite right. The color scheme was, in my view, a bit too modern. The flowers, well, I just thought peonies would have been more elegant. I may have mentioned these things more than once. When she got pregnant, I had opinions about that too. About how she should prepare, what books she should read, how she should deliver, what formula was best, how often the baby should sleep. I bought things without asking. I showed up unannounced to help, which somehow always turned into me reorganizing her house according to my standards. David was patient. He'd give me a look sometimes, one that said he knew I meant well but that I was suffocating her. I dismissed those looks. Sarah was patient too, but patience has limits. Fast forward to this Christmas. I arrived at their house on December 23rd, as I had planned weeks in advance. Sarah had asked me to come on the 24th, actually. She gently suggested that maybe I could arrive Christmas Eve morning instead of the day before. But I had a good reason for coming early. I wanted to help with preparations, I said. What I didn't say was that I wanted to be there, involved, in control. I immediately started reorganizing their kitchen. Their spices weren't in alphabetical order. Their pantry was a mess. Their Christmas dinner plan, the one Sarah had carefully planned, needed adjustments in my opinion. The turkey was too small. The timing was off. I knew a better way. Sarah's tone changed on the first day. It became short, clipped. She stopped asking me questions about my life. She stopped the easy conversation. But I was too focused on the tasks at hand to really notice. Or maybe I noticed and didn't want to acknowledge what it meant. On Christmas morning, we opened presents. Sarah had given me a beautiful scarf, burgundy, cashmere. It was thoughtful and expensive, and I immediately told her it was too much, that she shouldn't have spent that kind of money, that I could have gotten something cheaper myself. I watched her face fall, but instead of asking why my criticism of her gift mattered so much, I just kept talking, filling the silence with my own voice. Then came Christmas dinner. I had made changes to Sarah's menu without asking. I'd bought a larger turkey. I'd adjusted the seasoning on her green bean casserole, the recipe she'd been perfecting for 5 years. I'd brought my own gravy because I didn't trust hers. I had done all of this thinking I was helping, thinking I was being a good mother. When we sat down to eat, Sarah didn't say anything at first. She just looked at her plate. Then she looked at me, and I saw something in her eyes that I'd never seen before, exhaustion, not physical, emotional. "Mom," she said quietly, "can I talk to you?" My stomach dropped because I knew. Somewhere in me, I knew what was coming. We went into the other room. David stayed at the table with their 3-year-old, Emmy. Sarah sat on the couch and started to cry, not dramatic crying, quiet crying, the kind that feels like it's been waiting to happen for years. "I can't do this anymore," she said. "I can't have you in my life like this." I tried to defend myself. I said I was just trying to help, that everything I did was out of love, that I was her mother. Don't all mothers want to be involved? And that's when she said it. Leave and never come back. The words hit me like a physical blow. My daughter, whom I had sacrificed everything for, was telling me to get out of her life. Permanently. The shock of it was so complete that I couldn't even cry. I couldn't even respond. I just sat there, staring at her, waiting for her to take it back. She didn't. I stood up. I was shaking. I said something awful, something about how ungrateful she was, how after everything I'd done, this was how she repaid me. I can't even remember the exact words now. I was in survival mode, protecting my wounded ego. I walked toward the door to leave. I grabbed my coat. My hands were moving on autopilot. And then Emmy appeared. My granddaughter, 3 years old with her mother's eyes and my hair color, came running toward me. "Grandma! Grandma, you're leaving." That little voice broke something open in me. I looked down at Emmy and then I looked back at Sarah. And in that moment, something shifted. Not because Sarah took back what she said, she didn't, but because I finally, truly heard what she was saying. Not the words themselves, but what they meant. I stopped. I sat back down. And instead of defending myself, instead of explaining my intentions, instead of asking her to understand where I was coming from, I asked her something I should have asked a long time ago. "Will you tell me why?" What followed was 10 minutes that changed everything. Sarah told me about the weight of having a mother who was always there, always watching, always judging, always suggesting a better way. She talked about how I had never once asked what she wanted, how I had overridden her decisions and called it love, how I had treated her life like it was a project that needed my management. She told me about the wedding I had criticized. She had chosen that venue because it meant something to her. The color scheme wasn't modern, it was asterisk-her's asterisk. The flowers, she had chosen peonies for the wedding party and roses for the altar, a combination that meant something only she understood. She told me about the turkey. She had made the choice to get a smaller one because that's what her family liked. She had perfected that green bean casserole over 5 years, and when I altered it, I had erased something that was asterisk-her's asterisk. And then she said something that broke my heart in the best way. "Mom, I don't need you to be perfect. I don't need you to fix my life. I just need you to see me, the real me, and let me be me." I cried then, not the shocked tears of someone who'd been criticized, but the deep, soul-level tears of someone who finally understood what they'd done. I apologized, a real apology, not one that justified my intentions or asked for forgiveness, but one that simply acknowledged the harm I'd caused. "I was wrong," I said, "and I'm sorry, not for you to forgive me, but because you deserved better." Sarah didn't immediately throw her arms around me. We didn't have some perfect movie moment, but she did something else. She made space. She asked me questions, not about my life, about me. She asked what I was thinking, what I was feeling, if I understood what she'd said. And I listened. For the first time in years, I truly listened. That was 3 years ago. Things didn't instantly transform. I had to actively work on giving Sarah space. I had to stop offering unsolicited advice. I had to let her make decisions I didn't agree with and support her anyway. I had to examine why I had needed so badly to be the person in control. It took therapy. It took humility. It took me admitting that my need to be a good mother had actually been about my own fear of not being needed, fear of not being important, fear of losing her. But here's what happened. Sarah let me back in, not on the terms I had created, on asterisk-her asterisk terms. And you know what? Being a grandmother to Emmy on Sarah's terms is more meaningful than anything I ever controlled. This Christmas, I'm arriving on the 24th, as Sarah asked. I'm bringing a side dish, but no judgment about her menu. I'm bringing a gift for Emmy, but not reorganizing her toys. I'm there to be present, not to be in charge. And Sarah, she asked me to come early. If you're watching this and you have people in your life that you love but can't seem to stop trying to control, I want you to hear this. Love isn't about being right. It's not about having all the answers. It's about making space for the people you care about to be who they are, even when it's different from what you imagined. I almost lost my daughter forever because I couldn't let go of the idea of who I thought I needed to be as a mother. Don't wait for that crisis moment. Don't wait until someone has to tell you to leave and never come back. Let the people you love be themselves. That's the greatest gift you can give. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment below. Tell me about a relationship you're trying to repair or one where you've learned to let go. Sometimes knowing we're not alone in these struggles is the first step toward changing. And if you found this meaningful, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. There are more stories like this one, stories of transformation, accountability, and the kind of love that actually sets people free. Thank you for watching. Remember, the people we love don't need us to be perfect. They just need us to see them.